Nearly 71% of our Earth's surface is covered by water, yet only a tiny, tiny fraction is actually available as safe drinking water. So today in this explainer, we're diving deep into the hidden world of water contamination and the frankly incredible scientific technologies we use to fight back.
I am so ready for this. It's one of those things we interact with every single day, but rarely stop to think about what's actually happening on a microscopic level.
Exactly. And that brings us to a question that challenges a really basic, hardwired assumption we all have.
Right, because usually we pour a glass of water, hold it up to the light, and if it looks crystal clear, our brain immediately tells us, yep, that's safe to drink.
Spot on. But perfect transparency, it definitely doesn't mean a glass is free from microscopic or dissolved dangers. So here's our roadmap for today. 1. The hidden water threats. 2. Signs of contaminated water. 3. Tackling heavy metals. 4. Microplastics and PFAS solutions. And 5. Portable and solar purification. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The hidden water threats. What is lurking in the depths of our water? Because water is such an incredible solvent, it easily picks up impurities through both natural processes and human activities. We're talking about everything from heavy metals to agricultural runoff and dangerous microorganisms. And contaminated drinking water is a massive, ongoing global crisis. To put a truly devastating number on it, 760,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the approximate number of young children who die annually from diarrheal diseases directly linked to unsafe water.
That is just heartbreaking. So these are microscopic threats, right? Things like E. coli, rotavirus, protozoa, things that trigger severe illnesses when they bypass our local safety nets.
Section 2. Signs of contaminated water. When to trust your senses and when to test. This is absolutely crucial, especially because while many of us rely on municipal treatment, millions of people rely on private wells. And with a private well, the safety falls squarely on you. Right, you become the water manager, and there is a stark difference between what we can see versus what we can't. Visible contamination is obvious: murky water, visible sediment, maybe an oily film. But then you have the invisible threats, things like heavy metals, pesticide, and nitrates from fertilizers. Those can be present in highly toxic amounts without changing the color or clarity of your water one bit. It could look perfectly clear and still be dangerous. Exactly. However, sometimes those invisible threats do give themselves away through our other senses. If your well water is showing any of these specific symptoms, you need to pay immediate attention. Like if you smell rotten eggs, that usually indicates hydrogen sulfide gas, or a detergent odor. That can actually signal a highly dangerous septic leak. Yes, and a metallic taste points to high levels of dissolved acids or metals. If you experience literally any of these, you must immediately stop using the water for drinking or cooking and get it tested. No exceptions. Section 3. Tackling heavy metals. Industrial-scale chemical defenders. Fortunately, science has developed some incredibly powerful ways to remove these toxins. Let's look at the heavy metal removal techniques used in larger facilities to combat things like lead, arsenic, and mercury. A fundamental principle of water treatment here is adsorption. Actually, wait, let me clarify for everyone. That's adsorption with a D, right? Not absorption with a B. Hit the nail on the head. Adsorption is a process where dissolved impurities literally stick to the surface of a highly porous material like activated carbon. Activated charcoal is so remarkably effective because its enormous surface area is absolutely filled with microscopic pores that actively trap dissolved contaminants, odors, and pigments as the water flows through. It's like a molecular sponge. So different contaminants require very precise, targeted scientific interventions.
For sure. For heavy metals, engineers often use ion exchange resins. Think of these as tiny, powerful magnets that attract and trap negatively charged heavy metals, swapping them out for harmless sodium or potassium ions. And for newer chemical threats like PFAS, we lean heavily on that granular activated carbon we just talked about.
Section 4. Microplastics and PFAS solutions. Capturing the microscopic and forever chemicals. Oh man, these are probably two of the most talked about modern pollutants in the news right now. Microplastics and PFAS, the infamous forever chemicals. How do modern wastewater treatment plants even begin to handle them? Well, given all the alarming headlines, you might actually be surprised to learn that advanced tertiary wastewater treatment plants can remove an impressive 94% of microplastics from the water.
Wait, 94%? That is genuinely surprising. How do they do it?
The bulk of this work happens early on through preliminary sedimentation. It's basically a density-driven settling process. Heavier particles naturally sink under the influence of gravity, and lighter plastics float up so they can be skimmed off the top.
So just by letting it settle, that removes about 72% of the microplastics?
Exactly. Mostly handling particles larger than roughly 150 micrometers. The real scientific challenge, though, is dealing with those tiny, microscopic fragments that resist gravity and remain in the discharged water. So, when dealing with those super tiny fragments, or dissolved forever chemicals like PFAS, we have to bring out the heavy artillery, high-pressure membranes. Reverse osmosis acts as the ultimate physical barrier here. It forces water through a semi-permeable membrane that is so unbelievably tight, it rejects almost all salts and contaminants, leaving highly purified water.
Okay, but there's always a catch, right?
There is. About 20% of the water is left behind as a highly concentrated waste stream, which is then very, very difficult to dispose of safely.
Section 5, Portable and Solar Purification, Innovations Off the Grid and Around the World.
This is what I've been waiting for. How do we take these massive, complex purification concepts from municipal plants and shrink them down, like for a disaster relief or developing regions where electricity and centralized infrastructure just don't exist?
Enter SODIS, short for solar water disinfection. This is such a brilliant, low-cost scientific intervention. It relies entirely on harnessing UVA radiation straight from the sun. The solar radiation creates reactive oxygen species in the water, things like hydrogen peroxide and hydroxyl radicals, which then chemically attack and damage the DNA and proteins of harmful pathogens, effectively neutralizing them. So the application is elegantly simple. You literally just fill transparent PET plastic bottles with contaminated water and place them on a sunlit roof. The sun does all the heavy lifting. It's a vital zero-electricity method to drastically reduce the transmission of diarrheal diseases in vulnerable communities. But there's a catch here too. For SODIS to work, the sunlight actually has to penetrate the water. If the water is too cloudy, meaning its turbidity is above 30 NTU, the suspended particles scatter the UV rays and protect the pathogens.
Oh, I've heard about how they test this. Users can do a clever field test. If you can read a newspaper headline by looking straight down through the bottom of a full water bottle, it's clear enough for solar disinfection. That is such a cool, practical hack.
It really is. Now, if the water is too cloudy for SODIS, lightweight portable purifiers step in using a layered approach. First, the water passes through coarse gravel and fine sand. These act as physical filters, trapping suspended soil, debris, and larger parasites. Then, the water flows through a layer of activated carbon, utilizing that adsorption principle we discussed earlier to trap dissolved chemicals and odors.
It's literally a miniaturized treatment plant in a single column, and again, it requires absolute zero electrical power.
Exactly. And you know, treating water isn't just about what we put into a drinking glass. Right, because dangerous contaminants, particularly volatile organic compounds or certain microbes, can actually vaporize as steam and be inhaled straight into our lungs during a hot shower. Yep, comprehensive water treatment protects our whole environment and our entire body, not just our thirst. So we've seen the incredible science of purification today, from using gravity and sand in off-grid portable filters, all the way to high-tech reverse osmosis membranes battling forever chemicals.
But as industrial chemicals and microplastics continue to spread everywhere, it really leaves us pondering a critical question. As the threats in our environment evolve, is the infrastructure bringing water into your home truly equipped to handle tomorrow's invisible dangers?
A perfect question to end on. Keep questioning, keep learning, and never ever take that clear glass of water for granted.